16 years. 16 years. That's how long I've been a nurse. I went to renew my license. I could not believe it. I was like, hey, Siri, how long ago was blah, blah, blah? It said 16 years. So how have I been a nurse for 16 years? There are days when I am overwhelmed and I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore. Why am I doing this? But then I think of the days when I wasn't a nurse and I was wishing to be a nurse and how hard I worked for this degree and how proud I was to walk across that stage. Then I think about situations like when I worked on the med-surg floor and a young lady came up to the room. She was a family member. She only spoke English, or she only spoke Spanish. And I thought it was odd that she was in the room without the patient. And she tells me in Spanish, oh, they told me to come up here. I was like, well, that's odd. That usually doesn't happen. You usually come up with the patient. She's like, I was like, I don't know. This seems weird. So I told her, I walked back down with her and I told the attendant, I said, she's going to wait here until her family member comes out of surgery. That way she can speak to the doctor. The next day, I have a gift bag waiting for me. It was from her, and she thanked me for being her advocate. She thanked me for walking her down and translating for her. Then I thought about the times when I was younger, like 10, and I'd be in the neighborhood and, us girls would be hanging out. And then that one girl that nobody knew, they would just try to fight her or they try to bully her. And I was like, leave her alone, man. And then I became her friend and her mom made the best collard greens. I mean, I never had collard greens before. I was like, oh, this is awesome. So looking back, I had always been an advocate. I've always stood up for people. So that's why this nursing thing comes naturally to me. It doesn't feel like a job. The only times I feel like wore down and wore out is when people are mean, patients are yelling, when I'm doing the best I can and I cannot control the things they're yelling me about. So, and again, it's not rainbows and unicorns all the time, but 99% of the time, it's actually pretty good. The patients are nice. The situations are nice. I'm blessed to work where I work. So then I was thinking about what are the things that I've done to help me become the nurse that I am? First thing, I stay out of the gossip. Now, back in the day, I was all about who's doing what and with who, but now it's that's distracting me from my purpose. I sit at the back nurses station. Some people are like, oh, you're here by yourself. I love it. I love being by myself. I love the peace. So I would say stay out of the gossip, stay out of the drama. Just focus on your job and your patients. I take my breaks. This one's a hard one. People say, oh, you don't have coverage, oh, this and that. I know when it's late, when my break is late because I'm feeling overwhelmed, I'm feeling stressed. And then I work mid shifts. And so I'll come up to the charge nurse at night. I'm like, look, I have to take my break. At that point, I'm like, I have to take a break. And they're looking at me like, because they don't realize the day that I've had, so in a way I feel guilty, but you know what? I got to take my break to be a better nurse. So take your breaks. You have to take your breaks. No matter what, take your breaks. This one is going to be a little controversial. I believe it has helped me become a better nurse. I remain engaged. I join the committees. I do the cheesy things that they want me to do. I head up shared governance. It's a lot of work. But I feel super engaged. I feel super in tune of what's going on in the unit. You can't keep complaining if you're not doing anything about it. So I recommend join the committees, be a part of the change. Take your vacations. Please take your vacations. Yes, it is a flex to have 400 hours of PTO, but damn, you got to use it. Please use it. Even if you're just putting in the PTO just to have a day off and not do anything, just a staycation. Do it. You need a recharge, you need a reboot, and giving back. This podcast to me is giving back to the nursing community. I want to remain positive. I want this to be a positive platform where we can come together and support one another and learn from one another. So what are some things that you do to help keep your nursing vibes up? Put it in the comments. And if you want a positive nursing environment, please follow the Newbie Nurse podcast. You can find me on Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Spotify, and TikTok. My soul cannot handle Facebook. I'm sorry. I can't handle the drama on Facebook. So I have not done a Facebook, but I'm thinking about it, but no. So as I always say, remember, treat people how you want to be treated because what you put into this world is what you're going to get back. Have a great shift.